So as we approach the third trimester, we tend to have some extra fluid that builds up in our legs, in our ankles. And we can also be experiencing low back pain. And these are not unconnected. So generally, what we say is the legs are the governor of the lower back. And if our legs aren't quite working as much as would be optimal for carrying the extra weight, then we can start to lose the alignment of our lower back, as well as lose that gentle tone that can help remove the fluid, extra fluid. So today's practice, we're going to focus on both of those things, working the legs to try and get rid of some of the elephant ankles and also to make our low back feel better. So please take a comfortable seat on the edge of something, blanket, bolster, block. Rest your hands on your thighs and draw your hands about mid-thigh so that your shoulders can rest back and down. You can turn your palms up if you'd like, or down. Up is more receptive. You can touch thumb and index fingers together, and down is more about grounding your energy. Closing your eyes, welcome yourself to your practice today. And with every exhalation, allow something to return to the earth, helping you feel a little heavier, your lower body releasing into gravity. With every inhalation, inviting space in the back of your lungs, all the way to the top of your chest, even the top of your head. So while we can't control these common challenges of pregnancy, we can at least know that we're doing what we can. And for this one, we're going to use what we call Sacred Step 2, sourcing our strength. Join your palms together. And I like this one because it's a reminder that our strength is always there in the center. It's not really about building it, it's about connecting to it. So energetically, just connect to that steadiness, that stability that's always there, like the eye of the storm. And setting an intention maybe to use your breath to keep coming back to that part of you that never changes. And take a nice deep inhale in through your nose. And then exhale through your mouth, whispering, ha, empty out. Bow your head into your heart center. And then please take your legs wide out to the sides. So staying up on the edge of this, in fact, scooch forward a little bit so you feel like almost like you're going to fall off whatever you're on. And this will help you get that nice curve in your low back. And then go ahead and check out your feet. Spread your toes toward the sky. So even that pinky toe, we're going to invite to the party today. This pinky toe is connected to the muscle called the peroneal muscle that goes up the outer shin. And every muscle that we can find and engage is going to help, like, put on energy stockings to help squeeze the legs and move that fluid. All right, so once you've gotten your toes spreading, lift your kneecaps towards your hips, hug your quads, even hug your legs in toward each other. And then let's inhale, stretch the arms up, palms face each other. And on your exhale, turn fingertips inside your right leg, bend your elbows and just soften. Nowhere to get to. Just keep your legs super strong as you release and then push off. Inhale, sit tall, reach tall, palms face each other. Even your arms, you can find that straightness, that steadiness, and then exhaling over to the other side, bending your elbows, bowing in. Notice, is your right leg still engaged, still rooting into the earth? Inhale, stretch it up, press down with your legs as you reach, and exhale, other side. And last time, inhale and exhale. Good, and coming back into center. Go ahead and point your feet, but in a different way. So usually we think of pointing like ballet, but instead think of it more like Barbie feet. So you're extending through the ball of your foot and through the heel. So now you're really using those muscles of your foot, and you can pull it all the way back and flex, and then you can go for a full point and maybe make some circles around. Good. All right. The last thing we're going to do with the feet is a toe stretch. So you're going to sit back on your heels with your toes tucked under. So this might not feel like much, or it may feel like agony. Spread your toes out. Take some breaths, allowing yourself to be heavy. But the fun part of this one is when you stand up, because you will feel like you have new feet. You're really creating a whole lot of new openings for circulation here. Deep breath in and exhale. All right, come forward and make some circles again. And let's start in child's pose. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Lift baby up and then bring your hips all the way back to your heels. If you're on the tighter side and it didn't quite make it, you can put a folded blanket or cushion back there. But you want to rest your hips back on something. You can use a block or stack your fists so your head's slightly lifted. Your heart can be the lowest point, and baby has plenty of space in the back of your body and in the pelvis. If you like, cultivate your ujjayi breath, tone the back of your throat so you can hear and feel the soft rushing sound that's so calming for our nervous system. And I would imagine for babies as well. After 20 weeks, baby can hear you breathe. So you're sending a loving message with every breath. All right. And now what I'd like you to do is come forward, and with your thighs straight up and down, you're going to reach your arms as far forward as you can up on fingertips. So you're sort of in child's pose with your lower body, right? Knees are still wide. Big toes are touching. Your armpits lift. And then you're going to pull your butt back as far as you can to lengthen through your whole spine. You're hugging shoulder blades. This supports your wrists. Lift baby and stretch the hips back. Take one more deep inhale, one more full exhale, lengthening back, and then place your hands under your shoulders, your knees, a little bit behind your hips. Now, if this doesn't feel good on your wrists, you can always come up onto fingertips, or if you have like a low block or it's better to have like a folded blanket. You can have your wrists lifted. Don't do a messy one like mine. Do a really neat one, and you have the heel of your hands lifted. All right, so let's do a little bit of cat-cow, but just make it kind of free. So your toes are tucked under. You're on the big toe. The rest of your toes are spreading. And then just close your eyes and use the strength of your legs to get more freedom through your whole spine. So it's really the legs that are engaged, and then the spine is getting to just move and stretch in whatever way feels good to you. over to the side. You can make some circles. So in yoga, when we connect to our strength, it's always for one purpose. It's to experience even more of our fullness, right? So it's never to squeeze or over effort. It's really just to find new ways to embody that spaciousness that we are. And then you can come back to center and place a block between your inner thighs. So the moment the block is there, you probably get a sense of like, oh, it's easier to squeeze in. And we always want that tone that we get from hugging in toward the midline. So you'll notice if you're driving, if you're actually sitting, you might want to have like a big water bottle or something between your thighs just to get that gentle tone. And now soften the chest down, press fingertips down, hug shoulder blades, squeezing the block, lift up to a bent knee, downward facing dog. Again, if this is not good on your wrist, you can have the heel of your hands lifted or even stay in a half downward dog like that. With your knees bent, look and see if you can see your toes. Some of you can't, but if you can, lift and spread your toes even here. It's hard, but not impossible. With bent knees, keeping that pinky toe spreading, push your inner thighs like you're trying to drop the block. Your knees stay over your second or third toe. And what you should feel is lots more space left to right in the back of your pelvis, even up to your lower back. Now, as you lift, baby, you can stretch the legs towards straight, heels toward the floor, and let your head hang. Take a deep breath, soften the chest, and then expand into your own fullness from your heart in all directions. And good, come on down. Take the block. Side, knees wide, big toes touch. Exhale, lift baby up toward the feeling baby in the back of your body. Rest your hips back. Rest your hips down. Deep in and a full exhale. Come on forward. Place your hands and then bring your knees a little closer to stretch your. So it's a couple inches off. And I want you now to imagine a line down the center of your mat, spreading the toes, hug your inner ankle, inner knee, inner thigh, all the way into the center. Deep inhale, and then soften the chest, hugging shoulder blades. If you'd like, you can add the opposite arm or just stay right where you are. Even with the arm, you're hugging that midline to find that steadiness center. And then deep inhale, exhale fully, you're expanding out. Good, place your hand, place your knee around your back, and come back into center, side. Those toes. You can see them downward, so you can even the inner foot, center, inner thigh, gently on an exhale, lower belly, so baby has space in the back. And then opposite arm, breathe, hug in, and lengthen. Last one here. And place your hands, place your knees. All right, coming back. Now for this one, you'll want either a bolster or a stack of firm blankets that you have folded kind of in the shape of a bolster. Now, as if you're pretty far along into the third trimester, you may need this to be pretty high, but we're going to have the hip bones on our bolster or blankets, and the belly is hanging free. And then you're going to come down low with bent elbows. Legs are toward each other. So this does two things. One is when you hug your legs in, I want you to hug them like they're one leg, like your feet are together and your legs are together. You're creating strength here. And then bend your elbows. And with your thighs pressing back like that, you have plenty of space in the back of your pelvis to lengthen your tailbone back towards your toes. It's almost like you're trying to wrap your hips back. And then with bent elbows, hugging shoulder blades, soften the heart forward. So 2 more breaths here. Hug the legs toward each other on an inhale. And then on an exhale, shoulder blades back, soften the chest forward. You should be low with your elbows bent. So you're using that strength of your arms, but hugging in toward the center to access it. One last breath. Exhale fully and press up and back. Remove your bolster or your blankets and lie back on your back. And for this last one, you'll want something to lift your feet up on. It can be anything from a chair, a bed, a couch, whatever it is. You're going to just want a little bit of height. So if it's comfortable lying flat on your back, you are welcome to. Otherwise, you will need to have a little bit of a lift. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but you can fold up a blanket. And as long as your heart is a little bit above your pelvis, you should feel comfortable and circulation is good. So here you have your feet a little bit lifted. Place your hands on your belly. And you can even do variations of this all the way with feet are all the way up the wall. Okay, you can sit with your side, with your hip like to the side next to the wall, and then spin your feet up. And 10 minutes of feet raised above pelvis is what's generally recommended at the end of a long day. Take some breaths here, just allowing circulation to be free of gravity in your lower body. And while you're here, sending a message of love to baby, gratitude, being here with you. And as you're ready, you can inhale and stretch your arms out. Bend your knees, roll to the side, and press on up. So I hope that felt good. If you do sit at a desk, I recommend at least once an hour, kick off those shoes and work those toes, work the muscles of your legs. If you drive a lot or you sit a lot, have something between your thighs so you can just get that general tone, stay connected to your steady, strong center. And thank you so much. Namaste.